Hi, Reggie Mara back here speaking about healing America's narratives, the feminine, the masculine, and our collective national shadow, becoming more fully human. So this is the third episode now where we're focusing in on conversation, on doing more good than harm in conversation. Last episode, we spoke a bit about suspending preconceptions, suspending judgments, and suspending assumptions or testing assumptions. And in the episode before that, we just introduced this idea of doing more good than harm in conversation. Today, we want to address something that feels elementary. It feels like we should have learned this and mastered it sometime in, middle to late childhood or early adolescence, but it's obvious that many adults have not. And it's really prevalent among elected officials and what I like to refer to as celebrity news commentators, or I'll just call them that, celebrity news commentators for now. Just getting clear on the difference between opinion and fact. Okay, fact is something that people of diverse opinions and backgrounds can agree on. It's true. An example of a fact, right now would be, for me personally, that I'm sitting in an office, I'm looking at a computer screen and a camera, and I'm speaking into a microphone and recording this episode of Healing America's Narratives video series. Another fact is that the weather outside is clear, cold. It's probably about 38 degrees outside right now when I look outside. Those are facts. They're true. Anybody who wasn't looking to make trouble and was, in the office with me or just outside my office space would agree with those. Now, those are easy, obvious examples. But more and more in America and beyond, some folks take it upon themselves to blur that line. And I have to say intentionally blur that line, because they're not stupid people. They're actually articulate, intelligent people who either have a financial interest in keeping the line blurred, so certain people will keep tuning into their shows or voting for them. And they don't have a particular interest, it seems, in either truth or democracy. Because if you're lying about facts, if you're expressing your deceitful opinions as though they're truthful and they're factual, then there's a whole ethical, moral issue going on there. But you're not really concerned with truth or democracy. And if you're not concerned with democracy, you shouldn't be part of the government in the United States of America. All right. So an opinion is an interpretation that every one of us is entitled to have about a given body of information, about an event that took place, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Here's another fact. On September 11th, 2001, two separate airliners crashed into the World Trade Centers in New York City, downtown New York City. And within, by the end of the day, the towers had collapsed. They're gone. They're no longer there. Right? Anyone who has an opinion that says that didn't happen is deluded or lying. Right? Now, there are lots of opinions about why that happened. Right? And people are entitled to their opinions about why it happened. But the fact is, planes hit the towers came down. Okay, I can give you some other examples. So what I'm asking you to do, what I try to do in my writing, in my teaching, in my coaching, is get really clear on what I really, I can prove to you is a fact. It's evidence-based in what is my opinion. And when I do that in conversation, whether it's with students or with clients or with friends and family, people tend to appreciate it. Right? So I'm encouraging you, when you get into conversations that are important to you, be really clear when you're saying, well, in my experience, my view is on this. And don't say it's a fact that, if people from diverse perspectives wouldn't agree that it's a fact. Right? You have some work to do there. It may be a fact. Maybe the other people, the ones that are denying the truthfulness of it, but be really careful about what's your opinion, what you know yourself. because it's evidence-based and what you don't know. Because we have a mess right now where people are more concerned with, selling advertising space and getting reelected. That's kind of a gross oversimplification, but they're both very true. And the line between fact and opinion has become increasingly blurred. All right, so thank you for tuning in. Again, the book is, we're talking about Healing America's Narratives. Previous book was called Enough with the Talking Points, How to Do More Good Than Harm in Conversation. And in the absence of doing more good than harm in conversation, we will never heal America's narratives. In fact, it'll be even hard to be in the healing process, much less get to a point which is an ongoing process anyway. But we need to learn how to be an open, authentic, vulnerable, courageous conversation with each other. Thank you for tuning in.